They kissed in take 7. And though the script demanded it, Ethan felt something dangerous spark beneath his skin, something real. The director yelled cut, but Ethan's heart didn't obey. Kept racing, reckless. Ethan Monroe was 23, 2 years into his career, with cheekbones that magazines loved and a nervous laugh that made interviewers swoon. When he landed the role of Tyler, a tortured romantic lead in Summer Dust, he knew it could launch him to the next level. What he hadn't counted on was Aiden Cross. Aiden, 28, had been in the industry for a decade, a quiet force of charisma and poise. Ethan had idolized him from a distance, watching reruns of his breakout role in a teen drama while eating cold cereal in his tiny LA apartment. On day 1 of filming, Ethan had expected professionalism. What he didn't expect was how Aiden looked at him, not with detachment, but a kind of curious warmth, like he already knew Ethan's story. By week 2, their chemistry on screen was undeniable. The crew whispered about it. The director gave fewer notes. And in between takes, Ethan started to notice the way Aiden's eyes lingered. One evening, after a sunset shoot in Santa Monica, they stayed behind, sitting cross-legged on the sand. Aiden offered Ethan half a granola bar and a question. "You ever fall for someone you weren't supposed to?" Ethan had laughed, pretending not to understand. But the way Aiden looked at him, quiet, serious, it settled deep. It wasn't long before their scenes blurred into something more. In a rain-drenched kiss under a fake thunderstorm, Ethan felt Aiden's hand slip to his waist and hold just a little too long. And Ethan didn't pull away. They didn't talk about it. They didn't need to. But when the cameras weren't rolling, they found excuses to stand closer, to share jokes no one else got, to let the silence between them feel like something sacred. Ethan was falling. He wasn't out. Not publicly. His agent warned him to keep things neutral. But in the soft moments between takes, when Aiden would brush hair from his eyes or smile like he saw through all the fear, Ethan started to believe it might be worth the risk. Until the night he heard Aiden behind the curtain. They had just wrapped a particularly intense scene argument, turned confession that ended with Ethan whispering, "I love you." He hadn't meant to say it like that, but it came out too naturally, too honest. The applause died down. The crew reset. Ethan stepped off set, dizzy from emotion, and ducked behind the curtain to collect himself. That's when he heard it. Aiden, laughing. "Yeah, he's sweet. Naive, though. Kid really thinks I'm into him." The words hit like glass, shards through every inch of Ethan's chest. He didn't wait to hear the rest. He walked past the trailers, past the catering truck, out into the parking lot where he leaned against his car, shaking. For 3 days he avoided Aiden, showed up late, delivered cold takes. The director scowled. The producers noticed. Aiden cornered him between scenes. "Ethan, what's going on?" Ethan looked at him, searching for the truth. "You tell me." Aiden frowned. "Did I do something? You really don't remember?" Ethan's voice cracked. "Backstage. You said I was naive." Aiden paled. There was a long silence. Then, quietly, "You weren't supposed to hear that." "I wish I hadn't," Ethan said, stepping back. For the rest of the shoot they were strangers. Polite, distant, and somehow that hurt more. After filming wrapped, Ethan didn't stay for the after-party. He flew back to New York and disappeared into indie scripts and quiet theater. He didn't talk about Summer Dust, not even when it won awards for Best On-Screen Chemistry. But months later, an envelope arrived at his door. Inside was a photo. The two of them laughing on set, caught in a moment that felt like truth. And a note. "I said what I said because I was scared. I'm not proud of it. But I never lied when I looked at you. Not once." Ethan read it once, then again, and the third time he smiled. Because pain like that doesn't come from nothing. Comes from care. From something that could have been. 2 weeks later, he stood outside a small cafe in Silver Lake, hands in his pockets, heart pounding. Aiden was already there, waiting, looking just as unsure. Ethan sat down.
No dramatic declarations.
No apologies wrapped in ribbons. Just coffee. Just shared glances. Just space. And in that space, something softened. Maybe this time they'd try it without scripts. Maybe this time they'd say I love you like they meant it and like no one was watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.